Welcome back to Irons United. We're giving you a bit of a rundown on some of the gossip in line with the fact that the transfer window will end tomorrow and West Ham haven't made any signings in this window. But first up is the news of Maxi Gomez. It is rumoured, and it's been rumoured literally every day for the past couple of weeks, that he is close to signing a deal with West Ham. Now, there is a lot of chat saying that if we get this deal through the line, that we are going to potentially meet his release clause, but then loan him back to Celta Vigo for the remainder of this season. Now, the negotiations apparently, this is all apparently, are taking place between West Ham and Celta Vigo. And what that means is that West Ham will sign Maxi Gomez for 40 million, not actually meeting the release clause, but allowing him to go back to Celta Vigo. Here's my issue. Why don't we just keep him? Why don't we just pay the extra money to meet the release clause and keep him? Why don't we push all out and get the guy that Pellegrini wants? Why don't we do what we did when he wanted Felipe Anderson and just go out and get this guy? Because we've now seen, as of last night, we've lost Marko Arnautovic for the rest of the season. Some of you will say good riddance, but either way, we're left with problems in our forward line. So I just don't understand this whole loaning back. Everyone talks about the big club mentality. Let's get the things right at West Ham first. And for me, let's not loan a player out. We don't have the strength and depth like Liverpool, Manchester United, Chelsea, Arsenal. Potentially Arsenal do or do not have. So I don't think we're the sort of team that should be loaning our record signing back to Celta Vigo for the rest of the season. Why don't we just keep him? Why don't we just play him, get him used to the Premier League, and then, if he bangs in some goals for the next remainder of the season, and he's prepared, he's got the Premier League experience under his belt in preparation for Pellegrini's attack next season, because we all know there's a lot of investment needed in our club. It depends on who you are, what you believe, but West Ham aren't imploding. West Ham aren't falling apart. This is whether or not what you believe or what you want to believe, but it's the Pellegrini. He's building something, and we have to give him time. Now, do you know what? £100 million. I was delighted. I was over the moon. We spent the money, but it was 3 years out of date, and the board need to back that up again and give him the money again and again and again in order to build this team, because there is something there. There is a spark. I don't care what you say. There's someone or there's some players in there that do offer it. And if Pellegrini wants this guy, I trust in what Pellegrini wants. So let's bring him in, but play him. I'm not interested in this loaning back. I mean, how are West Ham going to cope with the fact that we sign a record signing and then send him back to Spain? All we're going to be interested in is watching La Liga and then praying that he doesn't get injured. And we've all seen what that can do for West Ham. It's not fantastic, but let's see if we can. What have we know about Maxi Gomez? He's a very strong, imposing frame. He's powerful. He's got really good strength, and he loves to bully La Liga defences. It's a sort of striker West Ham need. We're missing that link-up play between the striker and the midfielders, especially the fact we've got potentially 4 one-to-way strikers in our side just now. He's got a great aerial ability, which, we had Andy Carroll, but when he plays, he used to have, but he's just not showing anything these days. So having that in an all-round character as Maxi Gomez would be fantastic. He does have a predator's instinct, and that can be seen in the goals that he has scored in his career for Celta Vigo, which is 26 goals and 9 assists. He's been directly involved in 35 goals over 50 odd games for Celta Vigo. That's fantastic results, and I tell you what, he does it at the highest standard because he scored goals against Barcelona and Real Madrid, so it's fantastic stats coming back from him. He is likened to his Uruguayan counterpart of Luis Suarez. He's not quite as mobile as Suarez, but he's clever on the ball, and that is definitely someone that I think West Ham should go for. There are other rumours kicking about other players that we're potentially interested in, and those players are, of course, Giroud, Gary Cahill, and Danny Drinkwater. Now, we could call this the potential Chelsea raid, but the issue with this is it looks like West Ham are potentially going to bring in a loan or a few loans. And these are the 3 potential players that we could be looking at. So I'm going to give you a brief rundown on their skills and what they potentially could offer. So first up, we'll talk about Giroud. He's 32. He's extremely well known in the Premier League. Over 350 appearances in his career. And he's scored 130 plus goals with over 50 plus assists. And people are potentially saying we don't want to be going in for this striker. I've seen some of that. I'm not saying everyone's saying that, but I've seen some of people saying that they don't want to go in for the striker. For me, it's a no-brainer. I would absolutely take him on loan if we had the opportunity to take him on loan. I don't understand the rules and regulations about bringing in a couple of loans from someone in the same league as you, but out of those three players, this is going to be, kind of borderline contradictory to what I'm saying, but I'm going to ask you the question: who would you bring out if we had an option to bring in loan of these players? Would you bring out? Would you bring in Giroud, or would you bring in Drinkwater, or would you bring in Cahill? One thing I'm going to talk to you about Cahill is he's got Premier League experience. He's played at the highest level with Chelsea. Whether you like him or not, is he an upgrade on Ogbonna? He absolutely is. Will he offer that cover for when Balbuena comes back in and Diop comes back in? He absolutely will. And for me, on top of the fact that we might be bringing in a striker, or if we could bring in two strikers, it would be fantastic. But we need to sort our defence out. We need to sort it out ASAP. And I think Cahill is potentially one of the only ones out there that I would consider taking. Because if we're not going to spend the money, we're going to look at the loan. We definitely need to cover all aspects. Danny Drinkwater, he's 28. He's got over 200 appearances in the Premier League, so he's got the experience in the Premier League. His biggest attribute, they say, is ball retention, but I just don't know where I'm at with this one, to be honest. Back him if he signs, but I just don't know if I'm massively keen on West Ham to push out and try and get this one over the line. There's a strong rumour kicking about that we'll try and get this loan deal done. And obviously the three players I've mentioned might be falling out of favour under Sarri's regime at Chelsea. So this will be an interesting window. Let us know your thoughts. Get your points in below. Do you agree with any of the players? Do you agree with my point on Maxi Gomez? I mean, should we sign him and send him back on loan? Do you think that Giroud can offer anything to West Ham? I mean, it would be good if we could bring in Giroud, potentially Cahill and Gomez before the window shuts. But I mean, is that too much? Is that West Ham fans asking for too much? It will be yet to be decided, but we'll see tomorrow. We're going to come back to you with a live show tomorrow night on the transfer dealing, so make sure you tune into the channel, get everything updated regarding. We're going to log in about 9:30 and we'll film all the way through to the transfer window closes. So please make sure you get your points in below and let us know your thoughts on the players I've mentioned. But for me personally, we need to go all out and get Maxi Gomez, and we need to bring him in now and keep him here now and get him used to the Premier League. We need to bring in Gary Cahill because he's got the experience, and for me, you've got to look at it like, is he an upgrade on the current players we've got? And currently, for me personally, he's an upgrade on the Ogbonna situation. There is no rumours around the left back situation, but it looks like we're going to be stuck with Masuaku just now until Cresswell comes back to fitness. But as long as Cresswell does come back, then I'll be okay with that. And I'm not a massive fan of Drinkwater, but get your points in there and let us know below. Anyway, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're United. Come on, you.